For your speech, and thank you for this very nice introduction. I feel a little bit like I'm gonna preach to the converted already, because the room is full of people who know SCiON and the advantages and the progression it will bring compared to the existing internet. And I really like the slogan here, the internet as it should be. So I will not go too far into detail in the technology or the deep advantages, but I will talk more about what it means for SIX, why it's important for SIX, and why we are so actively involved, as Andrea said, together with the SMB and all the other stakeholders in making this a reality and actually really starting to use the technology in a real life environment. So that's what I'm going to focus on. I thought perhaps it's good to first reflect a bit on the role of SIX. So we operate the financial market infrastructure here in Switzerland, by the way, also in Spain, because we acquired the Spanish exchange in 2020 for 100%. So we run the infrastructure in Switzerland, but also in Spain. In Switzerland, we run it more extensively, because in Switzerland, we not only run the exchange business, all the post-trade business, but also we have a big data business, and last but not least, we have a business called banking services, which is everything related to payments, paying, clearing, settling bills, getting cash. So we have a broad spectrum of infrastructure capabilities that we actually deliver to the market. And for us, of course, as an infrastructure company, it's really important that we have security and reliability and resilience in the way we communicate with our stakeholders, with our customers. Andrea also mentioned already that we have a long-standing relationship with our central bank. You mentioned a couple of examples. We of course run the Swiss interbank clearing system on behalf of you, which we're extremely proud of, and I think this is quite a unique setup in the world. And we're happy that we've been able to win and sustain the trust of the National Bank to run the national clearing system on their behalf. We also run a very important money market infrastructure, tri-party collateral agent, and many other things that are key to the functioning of the financial markets. We also did some really cool projects with central bank digital currencies, Project Eura, two versions of Project Helvetia. So really innovation activities on one hand, trying out new things in proof of concept basis in working with the National Bank, and on the other hand, run the most important and most critical infrastructure of the Swiss financial system, as Andrea just shown on the slide, where the SIX system, the Swiss interbank system, is always on the core of the whole way we manage the financial market. And of course, one of the other collaborations and the things that Andrea and the SMB is driving with passion together with us is SSFN. So just making sure that within Switzerland we have a secure network to use for our finance industry and for our finance communication. I think Fritz and others have talked about this from a project perspective and more in depth, so I will not go into that, but it's really important for us. Innovation in itself is really important, so we always are looking for ways to transform the markets, to improve the markets, not only by products and services, but also by the way we deliver products and services and the way we connect with our customers. So that's really important. We need to make sure that where the trust of the SMB is delivered into the financial system, that we maintain that trust all the way to the end customer. So therefore, the way we communicate, the way we interact with our customers is extremely important and needs to continuously evolve and be fit for the future and fit for the threats that we see. And within that, of course, payments is extremely important, and as mentioned earlier, is really at the core of what we do. In the end of every transaction, a payment needs to be made. And of course, that needs to be done then in a reliable, sustainable, secure way with continuous drive for innovation, and that's what we really stand for. Here's a slide with some advantages that we see from a SIX side for the SSFN network and the project. So of course the control, so to make sure who can get onto the network, who has access, who can transact on the network. Certification is really important. Protected, to make sure that a closed user group with defined paths of information flows. Resilient, that we can equip ourselves better against certain attacks, cybersecurity attacks. that we have a clear governance around the network with the SMB, with Switch and ourselves. Really important that we have a clear governance, as mentioned earlier, if something goes wrong or if things need to develop, that the governance is crystal clear for everybody. And of course the flexibility to make sure that we can, as a company, as a central market infrastructure company, can connect to many, but it also, as mentioned earlier, that banks and other financial market players can actually connect also unilaterally with each other. So it gives us much more flexibility than we have today, and will therefore be a better solution than the solutions we have in place today. So that's why we started the project. We really were honored to be able to take the lead, but of course nothing like this will ever happen if there's not strong collaboration. So driving innovation and continuously improving our services is what we do. We deliver a lot of new services, but in this case, a new technology, a new way of running the internet connection that we have with many of our customers, or the dedicated connection we have with many of our customers, using the SCiON technology in a way that we can improve the way we communicate. That was really important to us. We, of course, then really started to analysis. Where is our best use case? Where can we best start using this in real-life environment? And you've seen earlier how important the Swiss interbank clearing system is. It's one of the most, if not the most important infrastructure in the market. And we've decided actually to apply SCiON technology and our first use case of SSFN in the Swiss interbank clearing system. So since November, we actually live with, in parallel, SSFN running in a live environment, a live environment of the network. Swiss interbank clearing system is not live, it's a test system, but we're almost there and actually providing it really live in parallel to the existing services. And of course, we've only been able to do that to work with Anapaya, which is really important player and is really doing some groundbreaking work in this field. Of course, the telecom providers, Swisscom, Sunrise, Switch, and of course, in the end, we also needed pilot banks. So really, we're very happy that we found 3 pilot banks, and we probably could have found more to really pilot this SSFN network capability that we've been developing with this project. And ensuring that there's buy-in, identification of the use cases that are useful for all different parties, and then incorporate different solution designs into the project was really important for us. Those were the key priorities. And together, basically the SSFN network, or the setup that we have now connecting to SIC was developed, tested, redefined, designed with all the different parties involved. So tested and verified on one hand, but also a clear rule book and a framework around it to make sure that the governance and the rules around it is very clear. Certificate issuing, really important, independent certificate issuing, and in the end that we've actually brought it into a productive environment. Those are the key features that we've been able to progress and deliver until now. And for us, the SIC SSFN implementation is the first use case. So we now have it in live environment, as mentioned by Andrea. We want to make sure that all our banks will move over to this new infrastructure, and that we actually can decommission for the SIC connection our IP finance net. But then we will also look at bringing SSFN into many other parts of our businesses, and everywhere where we have a connection and communication channel with our customers, where SSFN will give us better resilience, better protection, better cost management, and more flexibility, we will be looking at this. So for us, this is the first use case, based on a very important infrastructure, the Swiss interbank clearing, but it's also the start of a journey to really bring the SCiON technology and SSFN into all the services that SIC is providing to our customers. And this is really, for us, a really big innovation. We think it's a big innovation and a big progress for the Swiss finance industry, and therefore we can make our markets even more attractive and better for all the participants within Switzerland, but also for international parties. And therefore, for us, it's really important that we make this happen, that we've driven this forward, that we are where we are today, that we get all the banks onto the SSFN connection with SIC as soon as possible in the coming year, and then start driving this capability into all our services. And that's really why for SIC, this is a major step forward, and I think therefore also for Switzerland and all the key players here in the financial markets. And that's the key message I wanted to give you. So thank you very much.
We are truly honored. Dr. Andrea Meckler, Mr. Jos Dijsselhof, thank you so much. Thank you to all our panelists and speakers today. And to the people at home, thank you for crossing this milestone with us. My name is Leia Ladines on behalf of AWK and ETH. Have a good evening ahead. Stay safe, stay healthy, and let's stay connected. Bye for now.